Welcome to Daniel Goreman Watch TV for the presentation of the KURONO Tokyo Jubilee Grand Calendar. Take a look at this magnificent watch and the great Sumotori tournament. Here we go.
Alright everyone, hello friends, we're back again for a brand new video. So today we're going to be talking about the KURONO Tokyo that I've just received. It's the KURONO Tokyo Grand Jubilee calendar. So we're in for something really special.
Welcome to KURONO Tokyo. We're excited to introduce our new calendar, the Grand Jubilee. Discover the art of sumo.
Alright, so KURONO Tokyo, you really need to understand that it's the brand of an independent watchmaker, which is the Hajime Asaoka. So, Hajime Asaoka at his core is a watchmaker who used to produce extremely high-end, entirely handmade timepieces. He was a distinguished member of the Academy of Independent Watchmakers, which notably includes F.P. Journet, for instance. Therefore, it's important to understand that initially he was crafting watches that were incredibly expensive. Indeed, they were worth the price of a house or even an apartment. And he wanted to launch a collection that was much more accessible. So that's precisely what he did with KURONO Tokyo. And without lowering the quality on any parts, especially the design, he really went all out on the aesthetic, aiming to recreate that unique originality with very clean, minimalist Japanese designs. All right, then we're going to head straight into the unboxing. So this is how you actually receive it. It's true that it's really quite impressively packaged with that somewhat Japanese style folding system. However, I'm the one who had to refold it myself. All right, then let's go ahead and open it up. So I like the experience. It's nice. It's beautifully presented, but still it feels a bit light, doesn't it? The box, it feels a bit light. Let's gently open it. I like the clean, minimalist style. It's, you know, Japanese.
Come on, let's find the small instruction manual, the chamois leather, warranty certificate.
The pouch, the watch itself, re-over packaged, no, disinfected. Another box, and the watch itself, well, it's true that it's nice. The packaging is really nice. All right, after this, we're still gonna... I have some reservations. The wood just feels a bit like a flimsy crate, you know. I'd still much rather have a solid box, like the Wake, that's really well finished and everything. I'm sorry, but while it's minimalist, it just feels a bit too light, a bit like a cheap crate. And then looking at the inside, the paper straw, I have to admit, I really find it's just pretty average, you know. So I guess we'll go with a 7 out of 10 for this one, huh? All right, let's talk about the watch itself, to be precise. So this is the KURONO Tokyo, specifically the Grand Jubilee calendar. It's a timepiece that was actually launched to commemorate the 60th anniversary of Hajime Asaoka. So it was officially launched on their website on the 17th of October. It sold out incredibly quickly. In just about 15 minutes, it was completely sold out, as are most of these kinds of releases. I managed to get my hands on one. I'm not sure if I was just incredibly lucky or not, but anyway. And so I was able to receive it at the beginning of December. All right, let's move on to the specification. So the model we're talking about is the KURONO Tokyo Grand Jubilee calendar. It's a limited edition timepiece that was released in October 2025. It is not numbered, and we don't know how many models were produced. The case is made of 316L stainless steel. The finish is entirely polished. It has a diameter of 38 millimeters, excluding the crown. Its thickness is 11.5 millimeters and 10 without the crystal. It has a lug-to-lug of 46.8 millimeters and a lug width of 20 millimeters. The crystal for its part is a cathette, is a sapphire type. It is box-shaped. It has a water resistance of 5 atmospheres or 50 meters. The crown is fluted and is set with an onyx cabochon. The case back is solid with a gold medallion. The movement is a Miyota 9122. It is an automatic movement. It has a power reserve of 40 hours and a beat rate of 28,800 vibrations per hour. It features the Grand Calendar complication along with its 3 distinct hands. The dial itself is a beautiful matte salmon color adorned with a very elegant vertical guilloche pattern. You'll find 2 prominent subdials positioned respectively at the 9 and 3 o'clock marks, in addition to the date aperture located precisely at 6 o'clock. The hands are hand bent. They feature an onyx-like black finish. The launch price was $2,380, excluding So the watch case, as we've previously discussed, is constructed from high-grade 316L stainless steel. It features a mirror polish, and the quality of this polish is exceptionally good. Indeed, it truly gleams and shines from every single angle. We have a crown here that, contrary to its usual design, is not fluted. Instead, it is convex. So this particular detail, I must say, is quite appealing. It really extends the beautiful domed effect of the side walls of the watch case. It truly gives it a very refined and elegant appearance. It makes one think a little bit of the classic Calatrava design. So we're looking at a steel case of 38 millimeters. As we mentioned, the lugs are gently sloping downwards and are very well integrated. On the side of the watch's case, there's the crown, which is notched and covered with onyx. Pause. A rather nice detail above it at 2 o'clock. There's also a push button that allows you to adjust the calendar. On the back of the case, we have this beautiful gold emblem that's carefully inserted into the case back itself. It's engraved with the handko of the master watchmaker. This is a special stamp, a unique mark that's placed there representing the signature in traditional Japanese culture. So it is indeed a solid gold stamp. This is a really nice detail on the back of the watch case. Now let's move on to the dial. All right, regarding the dial, we're looking at a specific color here, which is known as a cane. It's a very deep, rich reddish orange shade, almost like a coppery salmon hue. It's important to know that the color of the dial is no accident at all. The craftsmanship at KURONO Tokyo is exceptionally detailed. The primary inspiration for the color palette of this particular dial, in essence, comes from the autumn leaves in Tokyo. Specifically, it's the leaves that blend shades of red, orange, and pink across the city, mixing beautifully with the crisp, cold light of the morning.
And that's what gave him the inspiration for the selection of colors.
So on the dial, we also find a particularly important element, which is this vertical guilloche right in the very center of the dial. This is a technique that he has employed in some of his high-end creations for the brand, or rather for his own personal brand, Asaoka. And this really lends a remarkable sense of depth to the dial. The exterior is rather textured, just slightly textured, very subtly so. And the interior is engine tone with a vertical pattern pulse. This creates a beautiful play of light. The interior surface will be much brighter. The pulse reflecting all of the light pulse. The pulse, while the exterior will appear significantly more matte. Clearly, it's quite striking. At 12 o'clock, we have at 12, its logo is written in Japanese with 3 pictograms. And below, we have its translation in Cyrillic script. So that's quite a debate, on the networks, because there are quite a lot of people who would prefer that we stick exclusively to the Japanese pictograms, and I am one of them. I prefer to stick with the minimalist and Japanese design, focusing on the aesthetic aspect. So he puts a lot of research into it. As we said, there is extensive research on the design to achieve a clean, uncluttered look, harmony of color. The fonts used for the indices are an Art Deco typeface, typical of Asaoka's style. Let's consider the hands themselves. The hands are a deep black made of onyx. There's a truly beautiful effect in its material with a steel that's somewhat reminiscent of ceramic and a truly profound deep black color. They are shaped precisely like the slender point of a dip pen nib. And their length has been quite meticulously considered and designed. given that the minute hand aligns itself with absolute precision with the outer circle, that is to say the index circle itself, whereas the hour hand, on the other hand, comes to a complete stop exactly at the level of the guilloche pattern, specifically the circle of the vertical guilloche. Well, these are very beautiful hands, but on the other hand, we have a small readability problem. I tend to confuse the minute hand and the hour hand. It's a minor flaw that often comes up on the forums. The bracelet and its wearing comfort. Well, as for the comfort, the watch is truly very comfortable to wear. Bearing in mind that at 38 millimeters, it's clearly a dress watch. It will slip perfectly under a shirt or under a suit.
The bracelet itself, I don't find it to be anything particularly special. The quality of the leather isn't really all that inspiring to me. It features black grained calfskin texture.
The only thing I find quite appealing about it in the end is that we begin with a 20 millimeter diameter and then it gradually narrows down. So it provides a rather pleasing stylistic effect. It eventually reaches 16 millimeters. Right, and the movement and the complications. So the second subject that's a bit contentious, the movement, especially since we're dealing with a Miyota 9122.
It's an automatic movement, Miyota's premium category. It has a diameter of 30.2 millimeters and a height of 5.5 millimeters. Its accuracy is -10 to +30 seconds per day. The functions are automatic winding. It can also be manually wound. It has a hacking sequence feature. It has a quick set date and it displays the date, the day of the week and the month. It has a power reserve of approximately 40 hours. It has a vibration frequency of 28,800 beats per hour or 4 Hertz. It uses 26 joules. It's made in Japan, and so it's based on the Miyota 9100 series. So on the forums, the choice of this movement is quite criticized, since it's a movement you often find in slightly cheaper ranges, around 800 euros, especially in many micro brands. However, this Miyota still has quite a few advantages. Firstly, it's extremely reliable, and secondly, its thickness is relatively contained, which helps keep the watch quite thin. And finally, parts are available and it's easy to adjust. So for me, it's not an issue that bothers me unduly. And indeed, switching to an in-house movement, I think we would have seen another price increase.
All right, we're going to cover the advantages, the disadvantages, the price, and then the conclusion right after. So the advantages, well, as we've already mentioned, it's the design. We are truly looking at a piece that has been very meticulously crafted in terms of its design, whether it's the color or the guilloche pattern and so on. It allows us to access the world, the universe of Hajime Ozoka. And secondly, I also really like this Japanese minimalist universe. So on this, it's also really nice, and there's a real consistency across all these pieces, and we find it in this one. And finally, I really like all the worked dial details, whether it's the guilloche, the hands, as we saw. And then finally, among the advantages, we have the complication, which is perfectly well integrated. So regarding the drawbacks, I'm going to put as number one the strap. The strap, I find that it's not good. It's not as high quality as it really should be. And second, the legibility of the hands. I often struggle with legibility myself. And third, I also find a lack of originality in these pieces. You often see the same hand shapes, exactly the same hands. You find the same case, more or less. We'd like to take a risk if we're looking at an independent. I'd really like something a bit more original. I already had a KURONO Tokyo. I signed up because I found the complication quite nice, and the color also really caught my eye, and well, I'm becoming more and more satisfied with it since I've been making the video. But it's true that compared to my previous work, I find that the two are really very similar. So that's clearly one of the flaws that bothers me the most, and I'd really like to have something much more original for our next piece. So that was the price. You know, it was we were around 2,000 euros roughly, and then I also had the customs fees. The customs fees were 600 euros. Well, in conclusion, it's a truly beautiful watch. Personally, the Miyota, it doesn't bother me at all. And we've got it for, the design is really nice, but clearly, if the next one isn't more different from the others, I won't be getting it again. All right, bye. Thanks guys for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe.
This video has come to an end. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and give it a like. And I'll see you next time on Goreman Watch TV.